In Matthew chapter 7, verse 6, Jesus says, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." So what did he mean by this? To be clear, Jesus isn't trying to insult dogs or pigs. Instead, he's using a vivid metaphor drawn from the world his first-century listeners knew, one that would help them immediately grasp the point he was making.
Back then, dogs were often associated with scavenging, while pigs were considered unclean under Jewish law. Pearls, on the other hand, were extremely valuable. So the picture Jesus gives is deliberately striking. It wouldn't make sense to give something sacred or precious to animals that couldn't recognize its value and might simply trample it underfoot. So what is Jesus actually trying to say? At its heart, this teaching is about discernment. And in the context of sharing the faith, it's about knowing when and how to share God's word and the message of the gospel with others. Some people may, of course, ask difficult questions, disagree with what you believe, or challenge you, but still genuinely want to understand more about Jesus and the Christian faith. Others, however, may repeatedly mock, provoke, or attack you with no real intention of listening. So through this metaphor, Jesus isn't telling his followers to think of those people as animals. Rather, he's teaching them to recognize when a conversation has moved from genuine seeking to persistent mockery or hostility. And this certainly doesn't mean that we should decide some people are unworthy of hearing the gospel. That would be prideful and wrong. On the contrary, Jesus often welcomed people whom others looked down on. He ate with sinners and tax collectors, and later commanded his disciples to make disciples of all nations. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. The issue then isn't whether someone deserves God's love or truth. It's about wisely responding to the way that person is receiving it at that moment. Jesus gives his disciples a similar instruction when he sends them out to preach. If a town refuses to welcome or listen to them, he tells them to shake the dust off your feet and move on. Matthew chapter 10, verse 14. In other words, they were called to share the message faithfully, but they weren't called to force people to receive it. The same wisdom applies today. When someone is genuinely curious to know more about Jesus or understand the Christian faith, even if they're skeptical or have difficult questions, we should respond with patience, humility, and grace. But when someone repeatedly treats the gospel with mockery or contempt, wisdom may mean stepping back. That doesn't mean giving up on them. We can still love them, pray for them, and remain open to what God may do in their life. Most of all, we should keep seeking God for discernment about the right time to speak, the right way to share the gospel, and when it may be better to step away. Jesus isn't asking his followers to hold back love. He's teaching us to hold grace and discernment together, sharing the gospel faithfully while trusting God for the wisdom to know when to speak and when to put a pause on things. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.